Jarada Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtatara Shata Shishimad His Divine Grace Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam, text 27. Tasmim Tadalabda Rucher Mahamate Priyashravasya Yasravasya Sakalitamatirmamam Yayaham etat sadasat svamayaya Pashyamai brahmani kalpitam pare Tasmim stadat labdarucher mahamate Priyashra yavasya sakalita matir mama Yayaham etad sadasat svamayaya Pashyamai brahmani kalpitam pare Tasmin tadalabda rucher mahamate Yashvasisyas kalita matir mama Yatyaham etat sadasat svamayaya Pashyamai brahmani kalpitam pare Tasmim tadat velda pucher mahamate Vyashravasya saskalita matir mama Yayaham etat sadasat svamayaya Ashet mai brahmani kalpitam pare. Okay, Matajis. Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O great sage, as soon as I got a taste of the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings, for both the Lord and I are transcendental. Purport. Ignorance in material existence is compared to darkness, and in all Vedic literatures, the personality of Godhead is compared to the sun. Wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. Hearing of the Lord's pastimes is itself transcendental association with the Lord, because there is no difference between the Lord and his transcendental pastimes. To become associated with the supreme light is to dissipate all ignorance. By ignorance only, the conditioned soul wrongly thinks that both he and the Lord are products of material nature, but in fact, the personality of Godhead and the living beings are transcendental, and they have nothing to do with the material nature. When ignorance is removed and it is perfectly realized that there is nothing existing without the personality of Godhead, then nescience is removed. Since the gross and subtle bodies are emanations from the personality of Godhead, the knowledge of light permits one to engage both of them in the service of the Lord. The gross body should be engaged in acts of rendering service to the Lord, as in bringing water, cleansing the temple, or making obeisances, etc. The path of archana, or worshipping the Lord in the temple, involves engaging one's gross body in the service of the Lord. Similarly, the subtle mind should be engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, thinking about them, chanting his name, etc. All such activities are transcendental. None of the gross or subtle senses should otherwise be engaged. Such realization of transcendental activities is made possible by many, many years of apprenticeship in the devotional service, but simply attraction of love for the personality of Godhead, as it was developed in Narada Muni by hearing, is highly effective. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Pralatananda Swami Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Adesha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Narada Muni had this amazing realization. What did he realize? That he's not the body. And also he realized that he's an eternal servant of Krishna. Something we heard a few times. But it's still something that we haven't yet realized. Or at least some of us. So many times devotees say, how about we hear something different? You know, like the same old boring class. We are not the body. But I mean, if that's where you are, you don't know how to write A and you want to go to the next. You don't know 1 + 1 is equal to and you want to go to the next point. So anyway, I'm just joking a bit. So we might be in ignorance. Might be, you know. Usually people in the material world are in ignorance. And devotees or aspiring devotees are trying to somehow get out of the ignorance. And how do you dissipate ignorance? There's a very, very esoteric method described here. You have to hear about Krishna. And that's, of course, something we heard before. And one of the problems with hearing about Krishna is that you have to do it every day. Oh, it's okay. Maybe a bit, but it's more or less okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay. The problem with hearing about Krishna is that you have to do it every day. It's like eating. You know, you cannot say, Prabhu, I was eating last week, so I will fast. This week I will fast. I was eating so much in the past, I was eating. So 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, I will fast. So probably it's not a good idea to do that. So because, and that's similar with hearing about Krishna. There's this verse from Prema Vivarta. It says, Krishna Bahir Muha Hana Bhogavan Chakare Nikatasta Mayatare Japatyadare. As soon as we forget Krishna, Maya is coming. Hi. Hello, how are you? Huh? How are you today? Okay. What are you doing? Nothing. Oh, nothing. As they say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So you're not doing anything. No problem. We'll give you some ideas what to do. This. Not very Krishna conscious. Immediately. It's not that I used to be Krishna conscious, so I will stay like this. No, you can degrade. You can degrade quite a lot. We were Monday. We were with Antarvi Prabhu somewhere. We don't want to say where. So we met this devotee. We meet him sometimes. He's a former devotee. You meet him in a bar. Yeah. And he's usually not drinking coffee, but anyway. So he used to be a devotee, and he's there, and you meet him. And usually he has this sentiment that he used to be a devotee, and he likes the devotees. And usually you can sell him a book. And usually he remembers Lalit Govinda Prabhu. Nice devotee. And yeah. And then Antarvi Prabhu looked at me and she says, he's very candid sometimes, Antarvi Prabhu. He said, I don't think he's practicing anymore. And I was just laughing and looking at him and like, yeah, Prabhu. I mean, I guess that one is quite obvious. So he looks like a normal person who drinks a lot. He looks quite degraded. So you might say, oh, he was a devotee. He was living in a temple. He was living in a temple for years, as far as I know. So, how did this happen? And then someone told me there's a scandal with an ex-ISKCON member. Sex scandal or something like this. I don't know the details. It doesn't matter. But the point is, how did this happen? He's supposed to be a devotee. He's, like high standards, high moral standards. No. And then people tell you, then you should be shocked. And you're like, no, I'm not shocked. I'm sorry, I'm not shocked. You meet devotees, they go, they show you, I have Tulsi, I'm a devotee. On the moment of that, I have Tulsi, so Krishna will come for me. Oh, really? What's your sadhana? What's your... Well, I don't have any sadhana. No problem. I wear Tulsi. That's enough. Oh, okay. Sometimes they even have spiritual names. Yeah? I'm, this name of Krishna Das, and my wife, this name Devi Dasi. Well, good. And you can wonder, where is their consciousness? And you see, like when you meet people, you can see where is their consciousness. You try to ask them, we have this Prabhupada marathon and we rarely come in your city, so maybe you can help with a donation, give 1 cent for Krishna. Yeah, I will give when I come to the temple. Okay, no, maybe they actually do, but many of them, their consciousness is not there. So the point is, as soon as you stop hearing about Krishna, as you stop, disaster is coming. You're going down. And it's just a matter of time, how low can you go? It's like, this person used to be a devotee, and now he's a drunkard, he's just drinking in the bar like all the other people. So it's shocking. So that was like for me, wow, it can happen. Don't ever think, oh, I'm safe, I'm a devotee, I wear Tulsi bleeds and I chant Hare Krišna sometimes. So the point is that Narada Muni is hearing from the Bhaktivedantas. So we should also follow in his footsteps and hear from the Bhaktivedanta, at least Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We also have some Bhaktivedanta. Because Srila Prabhupada, he's the perfect devotee. He's, as we said before, he's the founder Acharya, and it's not some honorary term, he did something in the past. Now he's you have these old people. There's this grandfather of one devotee, and he doesn't have much left in this body, and he's not very. He doesn't remember much, and what he says doesn't make too much sense, That's what usually happens to old people, And you might say, oh, Prabhupada also same, he's, he lived in some time ago. He said some things, which, they were applicable there for hippies, but now it's different times, we do different, But actually, Srila Prabhupada was always under the internal energy of Krishna. And what Prabhupada said, these books are the law books for the next 5,000 years. Law books. And when Srila Prabhupada left his body, he left his body in complete Krishna consciousness. He left in complete Krishna consciousness. He was dictating Srimad Bhagavatam. That was his life's mission, So it's not the same thing. So we should read Srila Prabhupada's books. We have to associate with Srila Prabhupada. And it's said, Srila Prabhupada says that 1 hour per day. And they say for Sankirtan devotees, you have to do like 2 hours per day. You have to hear about Krishna. Otherwise, slowly, you're going down. And you skip sadhana, you skip reading, I mean, you're heading for the wall. And this Srila Prabhupada marathon, you can see that also the same principles apply, you know. First principle of book distribution is that your sadhana must be strong, serious, and sincere. Yes, you can skip some, usually devotees last week, they just do japa and go out, you know, or something like this. Sometimes they do like this, but long term, you cannot skip sadhana. You don't have spiritual power if you skip sadhana. Let's say, purity is the force. You might even be strong materially, but you don't have the shakti, you don't have the energy to convince people, and they see you. Oh, okay, we don't like. So the point is that you have to be really convinced. To go out 30 days in the marathon, you have to be convinced. It's not a joke. You have to be convinced. Many challenges will come up. I had a really tough week. Anyway, it has to be like that sometimes. So yeah, I just I was like in first day I was in Zagore, Târbolia. I mean, I was usually I meet nice people, but nothing happened. You know, like I was trying this, that, this. I mean, I did some books, but it was really hard, and people were not taking books. So anyway, and then the next day also. I went to some other place and I didn't do so much books, and then I got a bit of indigestion, and then my throat started hurting, and then from so much walking the feet were hurting, and from these book bags the shoulders were hurting, so everything was hurting. So I mean, life is like that sometimes, and after you go out for Sankirtan for a few days, and then you come back and you have just enough energy. You know, it's like you're there. You take some prasadam and like you can crash dead. That's it. No, it happens like that. And I mean, people. Were not very favorable. I mean, anyway, I did some books, I squeezed some books, but so, and I also had to cook sometimes. I was really like on the, so, oh yeah, this Friday, there was this wind in Maribor, you know, like, well, they say that it can be as cold as it gets, but just if it's not windy. You know, but there was this cold wind, you know, like, and then I was parking on the other side of the river, and then you cross this river in Maribor, and this cold wind in your face, and you're like tired, and you're like, oh my God. So anyway, the point is that this kind of things will happen in a devotee's life, in a Prabhupada marathon or in other moments. So what the question is, what keeps you going? How do you go forward, you know? Will you give up, or you say, yeah, this Krishna consciousness is too complicated, or you'll... So the point is that if you're convinced, you will get back, you know, and fight. If not, so many excuses. No, oh, you know, I'm so tired today. I mean, you might be tired. I'm not saying it's you might think, oh, they have this 1 month marathon. Why did they have it 1 month? They can have it for 2 days. 2 days is enough. You know, we distribute some books, but 1 month, why so much? You know, like, you know. And of course, nobody really likes the books, nobody really reads the books, which means that we don't read the books. I'm sorry, that's what it means. If we think that nobody really reads the books and they don't find them inspirational, then this means we don't read the books. And we don't find them inspirational, so that's really sad. We have something more important today. We have this other project that we have to do now. And I'm not saying if you're convinced, you might have bad days. And sometimes, if there might be something urgent, like if this building is on fire, you'll not say, Sankirtan ki jai. You have to be practical a bit. But the point is that if you're convinced, then you'll just think, okay, we'll fix it fast, and then you have to get back on the horse. I'm tired, okay, I'll go to sleep. I'm lacking energy, I'll go to sleep, I'll go read, and then today is rest day, jai, and tomorrow I'm like full on, let's go, let's see. Round 2. Round 1 was a bit little problems, in this last round, but let's see how next round is. So that's the point. If you're convinced, you have bad days. Everyone has bad days, but you'll push through, because Hare Krishna. The bad days happen. Is the place where bad days happen. You're in the material world. So the point is that we have to hear. This is our batteries. This will help recharge our batteries. So we have to hear from those who are convinced. Srila Prabhupada is convinced. He knows. He knows. This is how things are. Srila Prabhupada doesn't adapt. We're thinking that maybe... No. That's what we're gonna do. And we have to hear from others who are following Srila Prabhupada and who are repeating his message, and they are convinced. Maybe not to the same degree, but they are somehow convinced. Okay, that's what Prabhupada said. Okay, let's go. In the early days, whenever they had an argument about what they should do, the devotees were quoting, Prabhupada said this. And the other devotees said, yeah, Prabhupada says this. Okay, and that's how we should have an argument also, So the point is that you have to also distinguish who are... I saw many devotees, many have kantimalas and so on. But you have to distinguish who is following Prabhupada and who is not following Prabhupada. Who is convinced that Srila Prabhupada is our Lord and Savior, and by following him you just go back to Godhead, and who is here? It's good. Prasadam is good. Life is good. So you have to distinguish. So how do you distinguish? Of course, you have to read Srila Prabhupada's books. You have to see what the symptoms are. And, we have to know what's the standard. So, even for that, we have to read Srila Prabhupada's books. And what's the purpose of hearing? The purpose of hearing, sometimes we think we have to be very learned, like now devotees are... in Prabhupada's times, the devotees were not very philosophical. They understood, Prabhupada wants us to distribute books, Sankirtan ki jai. Finish. No. They didn't understand. You ask them a bit of philosophy. Anyway, I'll skip them. There's this movie with Prabhupada. I don't know what's the name. And they have this recording from New York, probably. And there's this devotee who says, people on the street, they are low on the low platform, and we're high on the low platform. Something like this, like that. And you're looking at this, it's like, what? What is he talking about? So usually devotees, I mean, of course we shouldn't be like that, but devotees were a bit like that, They had no idea what. But this much they knew. Okay, Prabhupada wants us to distribute books. Prabhupada wants us to do this. Okay, let's do. And of course, with time they improved. So the purpose of knowledge is not to accumulate knowledge, to be intelligent. We have a Krishna quiz, and we know the most. We are the best. I know everything. The purpose is to engage in devotional service. You know something, you hear, but if you hear and you don't do service, then maybe something is wrong with your hearing. You're hearing, but maybe not in the proper attitude. So if you hear that Srila Prabhupada wants us to distribute books, then you plan, okay, he wants us to distribute books, okay, where can I go, and how can I go and distribute some books? Or how can I support or something, You think, okay, Srila Prabhupada wants us to distribute books. Okay, let's go. There was a few years ago, it was during the marathon, and I gave some morning class, and there was this Mataji, she came. I knew her from, and she came and she was smoking and so on. She came for the class somehow. And she came for the class, and there was Prabhupada marathon class, something. I don't know, I don't remember what I said, but probably that it's good to go out and distribute books. And she said, okay, I'm also going out and distributing books. It was like the beginning of marathon. And she was not particularly talented. And she took a vow to distribute 100 books during the marathon. Which, I mean, devotees who go out, they know 100 books, unless you're really talented and a salesman, it takes some time, like it needs some, So she was distributing 5 books a day, 7, 3 books, these books. And by the end of the marathon, she was like out for like 20 days or something like that. And she distributed 100 something books. So I was like, wow, she's still not a devotee anymore. I mean, she never was a serious devotee. But at least she came to the class, she understood, okay, this is what I should do, okay, let's do it. So that's the point, that's the point. If you hearing, Shipancha Tattva Ki Jai, hearing should lead to doing something, practical service. And also, the other point is that we should hear about how we should serve. Because many times we can do service, Devotees can do service, What is the mood of service? Who am I? Why am I doing service? Am I doing service to please Nataka because she's nice? Yes, that's nice, that's okay. Can be useful, but what does this service mean? How does Srila Prabhupada want me to do this service? How does Srila Prabhupada want me to behave? How does Srila Prabhupada want me to do this? So if you don't know what Srila Prabhupada wants, then are we really in ISKCON? I mean, yes, to some degree, but are we? No. Is Prabhupada just for decoration? Can we do our own thing? So that's that's the point, that if you don't hear, you'll not do devotional service for too long, or even if you do it externally, you're not gonna do it in a proper mood, and also you might even do it in a wrong way, You might even do a disservice. Like there was this Christians did this crusade to conquer the non-Christians in the name of Jesus Christ. And probably Jesus Christ is is sitting there, and this is like when at the end of the life they will go there and say, we did this for you. And Jesus Christ will look at them and is like, I don't know, that was not my idea. I don't know, bro. So we should also, if we should study Srila Prabhupada's books, and we should understand very well the books, that we can understand, was this Srila Prabhupada's idea or not? Should I do it like this? Should I do it like this? Should I do... No, because... So I'll just read a few quotes from Srila Prabhupada regarding his books. Because that's the important things. We have to be convinced that these books are really important. Otherwise, why would we distribute them? If you don't read them, if you don't study them, if you don't apply them in our lives, then we're not going to be convinced. We're not going to go out and be full on and distribute them. Okay, so... Okay, let's just read one or two. It says, Srila Prabhupada says, in my books, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is explained fully. So if there's anything which you don't understand, if you don't understand anything, then you simply have to read again and again. By reading daily, the knowledge will be revealed to you. And by this process, your spiritual life will develop. I am requesting all of my students to read my books very seriously, every day without fail. In this way, if your mind becomes absorbed at least 1 or 2 hours daily, that's Prabhupada saying, at least 1 or 2 hours daily in the transcendental subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and other books, then very easily you will make your advancement in Krishna consciousness. Very easily. Of course, you can include classes, but... okay, I'll just finish with this one. One day, Srila Prabhupada, there was a morning walk, and Srila Prabhupada asked the devotee, can you quote this verse? And they were looking at each other, and they could not. And Srila Prabhupada was a bit upset. And he said, just see, you are not reading my books. You have to read my books, and you have to study and learn my books, just like a lawyer learns the law books. You must know every chapter and verse. If you do not know, how will you teach this man unless you know my books? So we're leaders. Like people come to the Hare Krišna movement and they see you have a dhoti, and you are a leader. And you will say something to them. And if you don't know what Prabhupada wants, then how will you teach them something? What will you teach them? Based on my experience, my feelings, who cares? Based on Prabhupada's books, this is like this. Every day you have to read my books. Do you know that every day, even I read my own books? Do you know why I read my books? I read my books every day because even I learn something new when I read them. Do you know why I learn something new when I read my books? Because these books are not my books. I do not write these books. Every morning when I sit here to write my books, Krishna comes personally and he dictates to me what to write. So I simply take dictation from Krishna and I write these books. Therefore, when I read them, even I learn something. So that's what's in these books. So it's important to read them. Okay, I'll stop here. If there's a short question, I'm a bit over. Okay, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
za razumevanje, da spominja. Dovoljenje sem pomeni, da nisi vezan, kaj bo se s to donacijo zadelo. To je znaš. Ne, ker imamo bizno, da je dovolj, da je to ok, vse je to. Naša prava stvar, kaj lahko nekaj stvari, da se s tem enkrat ne obravljamo. odprte, to se vrta. To je šve, to ne ni okej. To je okej. To ne ni z skladno, in guru te dobro boja. Guru parampara, guru tata tvoj boja, to je asa, sanga, to je ni, to če je mati na to. Tako mati, to je še čisto zaslužno, ali se oni ne sluši, no? Sluši, pa smo je dati. Ako me ne vrednati, ne dnevni, in se guru parampara, slušljiva, osnovno, ponižnost. To je nobeno vaše. Dokaj pa ono se postavi v ogulje. V ogulje ne ti kulturi. Kakole ti rečeš, mora biti dobro blesno. Spoši ti produkt ne vidiš. To je bolj veka ti to. Zato ne mora se. Ne, teh internetnih. A je samo kako je reče, to nekaj smo nekako, imam dobro avtorizacijo. Da bi povedal eno. Eno bi se rekla, če kako je kako. To je bilo dobro. Če tega ne se tega se svijem da prema. In delo škodo, bilo pa nam pa ubijaš kaj šrada. Šrada moj je pa zopaj dva. Ti so to promovirali, promovirali. Kaj ti veš, kaj je bilo mesto? Šteje pa namen. In namen pa kdo je nam. Nam duša srca, in se postavi, kako bo nam duša. Da je on tačno, naš vedno zelo. In če si ti malo narob, in si 100%, 108% poparamati, kje si? Da tam tam gledo, da prade. Kdo bi kao našo novo? Goriš v prazno. In če ostavi, kako nas podob, ne? Ti ga dobro usmeriš, kasiraš rob, isto ne kdo ti promovira. Drugi oče nule, v javnosti. Mislim, da je glavna, da je edino kako tam ti ustavljaš, da se nisem aparat. Nič druga te ne mora ustaviti, to je zelo možno. To prekrije vlastno šakti, aktivnost nakon. Aktivnost nakon ovoga ima samo sebi možno, da je tega dobro više. Edino kako prekrije okrije aparat. Oni to ono. To tam je jasno. A se lijepo normalno, se s vama, vas odljivci kako je, kako malo čih više kako je.
Kako dolje, tega znanja,
Kaj znanje?
Mislim, neki malo mene.
Kaj je rezultat znanja? Rezultat znanja je moči, karakter in vedenje. Vedenje ti sodiš, kak je bilo. To je bilo, namen razbije kaj? Dete smo videli ono, da vem, da test, kako si ti gledal. Si šlo ponižen, spodbuden do ljudi. Bolj poraba, autoritet, imanje vrta. To je isto, kar imanje vrta, kar je vrta. Kriščani, absolutno. Ponižen sluga, svoje figure, to so lasnosti, ki bi spredili. Ne pa, da imaš prav. Imaš ti pesme, da ne pa, da imaš prav. Če imaš ti prav, to ni prepocit. Kako boš ti zadovolil? Kdo pa je? Nisem prepocaven. In še slušaš skodomirano, bo ti pravi, skodomirano. Vsaka informacija je seme, vsaka informacija. Imaš rada, ne? Ti imaš rado, piješ rado, ki je vezano na tišni. Vsaka informacija, in to je tam smo dalo znanje. se ne vem razpravljati. Skupaj tega ne mora biti drugače, tako ne članstvo postaviti. To je štrana več članov delo, ki smo vsi isto. Zdaj ta članstvo nekdo smatra, da je prišel še novina, da še nisem več učenki neodvisni, ko budeš članstvo, kakšno članstvo, groboš nekaj članstvo vrst, zaradi takšne stvari rešiti. In so vsi skočili to, da vsi smo člani, boš imeli glavo. To je suma higijena, da lahko tisto, da ti ščitiš. To je vse jasno. In je vsako je nič sklada. To je nič sklada.
Viš, da tudi druga darba je nekaj. Ko to zdaj se smije malo zatišati. Znotraj tega so neko skupnost, tako pa je se razumem. Novaček, ne? Samo v Indiji tega vkusiti, rekel bi se.
Pač, ampak če tako gledamo z druge strani, so živitve, ampak praktike služijo pa nam, da pač počasi enkrat nas.
Se ne moremo če
Tako je samo daleč, se spoštuje vate in nas.
Šnari, da se špezirajo nazaj.
Če mi zdaj nazaj pomira, to smo isti, ne? Samo vedete.
Sam jaz sem tako temperamentna, zdaj to tako izide. Prašam, imate smisla, ok, mogoče, ker mi oči meni pomaga, bom dala, ampak ko je tis napisal v drug, ni šans, res. Boš mene žal, brez veze pa druge. Veš, tako, vse ti da odpade, ne?
Ja, se prosim prav malo nas. Včasih beda.
Sem večkrat to spoznala, ko sem imela kakšne motnje, tako, ko sem bila kaj jezna, skoro skreda, da pa vseeno sem vam kam pride, tam pač ne, to nikamor pride, potekno. To je ful, mislim, veliko, da lahko prideš, narediš službo.
Se zato pridejo pač tako, da da možnost.
Ja.
Oni pride z razkakane rade. Oni pride se, oni se dajo na voljo služiti. Da rad mi je zgrov, ker niti ne možeš biti meditacije na stopni, naš muke reči. To na voljo, da rad z ogromno močino, se radi počine. Da rad pometeš nekaj, da rad nekaj, z novenom, da bo vse čisto, da bo naš došla, mislim, da še nas precaš, da možeš, kao što mislim. Ki je ono stare starina, to je samo, zapravim, to je privilegij. To je največje, dobrodel, da imaš možnost, da prav vate z misijo ustvarjati možnost, da se živeti, nima šans, nima kapacitete jogijske, da bi radi jogijsko prakso. Tudi če je simpel, ne možno. Možno. Misije zelo, ne? Skočili smo, našimi spodnji. Hare Krišna želi, pomagajo vsem. Znači, mi imamo proces. Toliko, niso full-time misli, tudi za svojim delom, ko se potirajo te aktivnosti.
Tudi
oni ne imajo. Kako povedal, s tem
če se potirajo, kar narediš?
Skratno, ti se potiraš.
Oni z obeh strani, kjer so imeli na korekšetri, so šli gor. Mislim,
ne može biti, da res ni razdelja.
Sem povedal, da se tako zamelenijo, da pa veš, kako povedal.
Tu se moramo kaj pogovarjati.
že je to vidno. Za drugi ostalo slišno, ne, ko se to vidno.
Ja, mnogo je stran, ki se vidi, krače, što ne
Se
zakaj.
mogo funde, mislim, da je tisto, ki nima je trdne vere. Smo tako vere, da rabne. Oni bi šipke. Da se spostavljeni pozitivni. Da rabi že korist, da rabi te možnosti.
Ja, se to, isto vidim, jaz imam stranke, eno že recimo, jaz na začetku možno na svoj način, ne. Što se pravi, da ne imam tako konkretno napoznati se. In pa mi se grabilo, ampak jaz vidim, da je zaradi inspiracijo, da je bila naprej, da se spraviš, ne. Zdaj že imamo skupino, smo malo govorim, da ta prišlice, da smo že prišli in dobili, ne, tejko se, ne, pač kot stranke prišli, ne, tako da to tudi pride, nekaj je zdelano. Tega astrologije, ne.
Oni že vsak slik zbahte, oni je pa tako. Eno mlada zašrada je, če ti kako navdusiš, inspiriraš svojim stolom, kako. In zagodovijo zopan tebe. Nekak način je treba potem to, ko mi nismo čisti, da bi grah nosili, skoraj, da smo mi samo edini vir inspiracije za ljudi. Da usmeriti naprav pa s knjigami, razlikati, sprav pa kakva pa je tisti vir našega.
A da dam knjigo?
Knjige, ja, pa govorite o knjige, kakoli, da oni bijo čisto znanje, čisto znanje pa tisto, ki je povezano z
To predstavljamo, da dobimo, da povemo, da je to pomembno, da čustvo bi, da je treba.
tako, nekak način, da nekaj doziraš, koliko mi lahko pribave.
Čas,
Pa podarilo, pa posada, nekaj tak, da...
Se pa vete kaj, ja, sem si to že delala na nek način, da največji pa to izgled, ko ljudje vidijo, da si ti srečen pa zadovoljen. In mi je zanimalo, kaj ti to delaš, da tebi tako, da si ti skozi tak. Tako, ne, včasih je drugim, ne.
Ja, vedno bakta medij, ko ni bilo, to je bakta medij. Bakta je vedno medij, znam. Ker bakta, generira jedan drug. Sme bakta lahko žije bakta drugog.
Krišna, da smo nas porodili. To se počne.
malo sem nabali smo, malo smo preznačili, ko sem hodil,
Ja.
to je vidi, da res se asistiral.
Ja, to je misija stiral en drugmo, ne, stiral prav vladom, ne naprej, da. Tak princip. A už druga zobar je poiskala?
Ne.
A te ni odpisal?
Je, ja. Da se rad zalepim.
Pa gotovo, če te je odpisal. Če si odpisana od njemu.
Ne. Poslušaj, garna, da sem naredila še za jutri, ne veš? Sem zdaj pa še nate čandelka naredila, ne? Tako da zdaj so do srede, ne?
Od viška ne bolj glava.
Od oziroma do torka, ponedeljek po torek se zdaj. Ok. To je to, lepa manjče tatva. Pač različne garlandi so, niso čist tiste, ne?
Lepi so.
Ja, super, res. Hoče me zmoti, da nam pokaže. Super večer.
Kdaj pa?
Časa, ne vem.
Ja, Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, 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 Hare Krišna. Hare Krishna, Hare